Jacksonville is a very interesting situation right now because Brian Thomas Jr. was downgraded on Thursday. You never like to see the late week downgrade.
Yeah,
he was downgraded to limited. This is a wrist injury. Trevor Lawrence spoke on the slow start between him and the superstar wide receiver.
It doesn't always go perfect, you know. Obviously, we would love to start off hot these first two games and our connection be, you know, ripping and me finding him everywhere and him having a great year and all those things. But, I mean, we're in week 2, everybody. So I think we can all just take a deep breath, give BT a little space. You know, he's going to be just fine. Not worried about him at all. It's just something we got to continue to work at. And you know, we're going to have a good plan for him each week to be involved. And he's too good of a player to not, you know, be involved and make those plays down the field that we all know he can make.
Not a great start for Brian Thomas Jr., who had massive expectations. And the craziest part is here, Jay, the targets are there. The production is not.
This offense just, even though they put up some volume numbers against the Bengals, it just doesn't feel like it's clicking at the moment, which is okay. It's like week 2 in a new system, new offensive play caller in Liam Cohen, but Trevor Lawrence hasn't looked good so far, and he's missed Brian Thomas Jr. He's missed Travis Hunter on a lot of balls too. I think this is going to get better. I would buy the dip on Brian Thomas Jr.
For sure.
But it's not something that you can really count on for now. I think if he plays, you still have to start him. What else are you going to do?
I mean, right, exactly. And they're playing Houston, which you don't love the matchup there. Texans a very good defense, but still, I agree with you.
Like, spend a second-round pick on Brian Thomas Jr. It's week 3. You got to.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what your options are, I can't imagine a scenario where you're benching Brian Thomas Jr. Real quickly, Bleacher Nation app just throws a couple of quick alerts. Commanders head coach Dan Quinn says quarterback Jaden Daniels was limited today, so they're going to start Marcus Mariota against the Raiders, and Jaden Daniels officially will be out on Sunday. So that has happened. Chris Godwin, Tristan Wirfs officially ruled out by Todd Bowles, and Emeka Buka will be listed as questionable for Sunday's game against the Jets. So there you go. Officially, there's official designations as to what we thought was going to happen, but I was saying those are now official designations.
Another one that we did just get some more news on, as we have a question here before we move to Tucker Kraft. This one is from Jay Stabs. Is Brian Thomas still a buy while he's struggling? This is always relative.
You just heard Jay say, buy the dip, yes.
Yeah.
Right,
but it depends, obviously, what you're trading for him.
I'm trading Jonathan Taylor for him.
Yes, I would be trading, like, we got a question before about, like, James Conner. Like, I would trade James Conner for Brian Thomas Jr. I'd rather have Brian Thomas Jr. because of the upside there. You still have to regress to the talent. This guy was, like, 3rd in the NFL in receiving yards last year as a rookie. Like, I think that it's going to be okay for Brian Thomas Jr. This might just be some growing pains in this new scheme.
Let me throw a wild one at you. Would you trade Ashton Genty for Brian Thomas Jr.?
I would not.
I'd rather have Genty.
I'd rather have Genty.
Me too. The Raiders they're gonna get the run going.
Yeah, they will.
And the running back value.
I might I mean, it's probably going to get going, everyone will be like, don't trade Ashton Genty now. The value can only go up. There's still some shine on Ashton Genty.
Sure.
Like, we immediately was like, no, you can't trade him for Brian Thomas Jr. Like, I don't know. Like, if I could trade.
It's not a crazy question, for sure.
I think I'd rather have James Cook than Ashton Genty.
For sure.
And I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor than
But the way I always, when you get questions like that, the way I just a quick sort of mental exercise is I was like, okay, if we were drafting today, if we had to draft for the rest of the season, who goes first, Genty or Thomas? And I would argue that Genty, if we literally did a draft today for the rest of the season, you can do that on guillotineleagues.com, by the way. Like they're draft every single week. If in a draft today, you would draft Genty over Brian Thomas Jr., but you would also draft Jonathan Taylor and James Cook over Genty. So, it's just like just in your mind, like, who'd you rather have sort of rest of the season? Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.